Hello, everybody. Hello, look at you all. Hello. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome.
Okay, we are already full, so
Wow.
Let's go. Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, April 23rd. We're glad you're here. And over to Sid.
Thank you, Mel. Let's start. Let's say happy birthday to somebody.
Yes, our first birthday is Nikki.
Hello.
Nikki, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Could everyone please get off there?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. How are you, Nikki?
I'm okay, thank you. For a
I'm
Friday,
really glad to hear it.
Friday evening.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's cool.
What's going on in your neck of the woods? I know you're in the UK someplace.
Yeah, not a lot really. To be honest, it's my birthday was back in March, so it's kind of a while ago now. It feels like a whole
I know,
life
but I wasn't
ago.
here, so all birthdays were officially suspended.
Yeah, and we're back on. It's all good.
That's fantastic. And how is there? I know that lockdown's being slowly eased in the UK. Does that feel like the right move in your part of your part of the UK?
Yeah, it's okay. We're down on the south coast, so just by Portsmouth.
Oh yes, I did say. I mean, you did tell me that, and I was like, oh my goodness, I live near there.
Things are okay here. We've been sort of very gradually moving out, and it feels safe.
Yeah,
I think things are being done safely, so there's not too much that we're worried about at the moment, or that I'm worried about.
Good. And you're having a heat wave, I'm told.
It's roasting.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really hot. It was snowing here about 3 weeks ago, and we had a really strange week where it was really, really sunny one day, and the very next day it was snow and sleet, and it's very strange.
It is very strange. It snowed here in New England yesterday. Again, it snowed like a week ago, and it snowed yesterday. And it's really weird for that to be happening this late in the year. But weird things happen in this part of the country anyway. What do you do? What's your thing?
I am a teacher. I teach A-level psychology.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
I bet.
I don't know if I love teaching or psychology the most. I do love both of them.
I didn't know there was such a thing as A-level psychology at A-level. Is that relatively new subject?
No, I did it for my A-level.
Really?
About 20 odd years ago. It's been around for a while.
It wasn't even an option for me when about 400 years ago. But I guess, I think times have changed.
Bit of an exaggeration, I'm sure.
It's a bit of an exaggeration. 35, 40 years ago? Yeah, 35 years ago, probably. When did you get back?
We got back to on-site teaching about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Right.
So we've been doing remote teaching since then. And it was so lovely to be back in the classroom and to actually engage with them, because I think a lot of the time when I was remote teaching, it just felt like I was sort of putting everything out there and not really getting much back. Sort of live performance, isn't it? You sort of feed off the energy that you get from
you
do,
and otherwise you're just a sort of talking textbook and
it's
not so much fun. How do they get the practical experience doing an A-level? I mean, because I know when you go to university, you'll get a lot of sort of, for want of a better word, clinical experience. How do you do that? Or because I don't think many people would trust that into the hands of someone who's just sitting in A-level.
No, it's only the first step on a psychology career. So they do the A-level. They do get some hands-on experience. So we do research methods, and they get to sort of do their own little experiments on each other, which they really enjoy.
Yeah.
I think I must be weird because I love research methods. I love the doing of psychology.
Yeah.
I just think I'm a bit of a nutter because they don't really appreciate that. They like learning about what other people do in psychology, but they don't like actually doing their own thing, and they just think I'm insane. I don't know.
Tell me a bit about it. Tell me about what constitutes the research element.
Some of us, we're doing it at the moment, so they have to plan their own little experiment on something, and then they sort of test each other and get their results and analyze them and write them up in a little report. So it's only very, very small scale. They do like 20 participants or something.
Right.
But it just gives them that experience of doing it, and it's a lot more fun than listening to me kind of going on about Freud or something.
Absolutely.
I could go on about Freud forever, but
do you find youngsters you have to help them because there must be quite a romantic notion of what psychiatry is. I'm using that term quite loosely, but
Yeah.
you know, I just want to help people type that kind of thing, which is not necessarily all a psychiatrist does, and it doesn't come from a sentimental place, does it? It's sort of quite rigorous. It's a rigorous job to evaluate and then help with therapies people who might not be so well.
Yeah, I think the sentiment's the starting point. So for people who want to get into that helping career, then there has to be some sort of caring sentiment behind it. And I think for a lot of students, that's their motivation for going into it. Curiosity about human nature and often desire to help people and to ask questions as well. I think one of the things that makes a really good psychologist is someone who just questions everything.
Yeah. Yeah, because certainly, I mean, if my reading is, if I've got my reading remembered correctly, the psychiatrists like Jung, for example, were famously unsentimental. Didn't like patients. Really wasn't interested in their welfare, but much more interested in the advancement of the discipline as a kind of as an abstract.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true of Freud.
How is your family, by the way? How is everybody, you know?
Yeah, we're okay. My son was going to join us, and then he kind of got really nervous and dashed back.
Oh, poor lamb. I mean,
yeah, he's 6. So normally I sit and join the meetings on my headphones, and he'll sometimes sit and kind of watch me. And he gets really excited because he's like, oh, when's Sid City Social Club on next?
Oh, sweetheart.
And he really wanted to join. He brought down his little dinosaur that he was going to show off.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I would have wanted to know what kind of dinosaur that was and everything.
No, I told him that you're really into dinosaurs, and he got all excited. And then when he came downstairs, and then just got really panicked.
And then he had just stage fright. He went back to school quite a long time ago, obviously, because you couldn't possibly go back to school without him.
He's been at school all the way through this lockdown because my husband and I are both key workers, so he works for the NHS. So he's been working all the way through the pandemic. And had to switch job roles. So he normally works in neuro rehab, but because they were so short-staffed and there were so many patients, he was moved onto the COVID ward. So he was sort of caring for COVID patients right in the thick of it.
Yeah.
So that's been a bit tricky.
But he came through it unscathed so far.
Yeah, he's okay.
Oh, that's fascinating. I would love to talk to him about the recovery unit. That's really. Did you work in hospitals?
I did. When I finished my degree, I had a year out, and I was trying to get some clinical experience. So I got a job as a healthcare support worker on the neuro ward, where he worked in physio, and probably the least romantic meeting story. Sort of, love across the bedpans. Yeah, so that was about 14 years ago.
Oh wow, congratulations. That's wonderful. That's really terrific.
Really strange place to meet.
Oh, well, listen, thank you so much for introducing yourself.
It's lovely to chat to you finally.
Chat to you too. And let's hope we can do it again. And next time I'll get it right, because I'll be able to say, yes, I know you.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nikki. Okay, we have one of our birthday people here now. So we're going to bring Sarah Moriarty on.
Moriarty, yep, you almost got it.
No, okay, I pronounced that last E.
What a fantastic name.
Oh, thank you.
Where are you, Sarah?
I'm in Indiana in the US.
Brilliant.
So Midwest, yep.
Absolutely. Where does the name Moriarty come from?
I believe it's German. You know, my ancestors were from German, like great grandparents, and I believe it translates around like to mosquito swamp, which I think is so funny.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Well, we've got lots of German folk here, so they'll be able to tell you exactly what.
Yeah, let me know
if it has a translation. What are you up to, Sarah? What's going on in your life at the moment?
I actually, I was scuba diving earlier today. That's why I was late. I didn't quite get back in time.
Wow. Are you a birthday person? I just missed I missed the
Oh,
thing.
yeah, my birthday was last week. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Thank
Please,
you.
everybody can say happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Sarah.
birthday!
Birthday.
Birthday!
Birthday.
Oh, you've got to get a recording of that and make it like your ringtone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
What were you doing scuba diving? Are you learning or do you do it regularly as a pastime? What's up with that?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm training to be an underwater archaeologist. So I know.
Wow. just ordinary stuff just isn't good enough anymore. You can't just
I know.
desert archaeology. It's got to be underwater to make it really difficult. Fantastic. How wonderful. And how long is that training going to take?
I've actually been diving for 3 years, but I'm just kind of upping my certification levels. So I got my rescue diver certification. So kind of responding to important situations underwater and helping save people. And so I'm kind of working my way up.
It's incredibly dangerous. I mean, it's a really dangerous job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get the training, you definitely learn how to respond, but it can be a little scary.
It certainly is. I've got a very good friend who's a rig diver and also does other stuff, in the ocean, but goes down and gets a big old blowtorch out and welds stuff underwater. And they have constant assessments about, with how, because it's just so dangerous. We're not supposed to be down there.
Right. Yeah. And technical diving is so hard on your body too. That's very scary to me.
So are you at college? What situation are you, where are you at in the school?
Yep. I'm going to college at Indiana University, if you've ever heard of it. So I'm in my second year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge, famous in the States. And are you learning, is it a minor? Excuse me if I don't know what are you majoring in so that is it oceanography?
Yeah. So it's actually like in kind of like a build your own kind of thing. And so you just apply to the program and you show them your plan. And so I got accepted to that recently. So my major will be officially underwater archaeology and anthropology. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. You can join the ranks of people who have the most unusual things they're studying. We've got someone doing space law. So it's just
space. Law. That's awesome.
Yeah. Law in space. They're going to need lawyers there too. And you are up there with that kind of totally unique profession. That's fantastic. And what draws you to that? What makes you interested in finding out about the historical, artifacts underwater?
Yeah, it really kind of all started. My birthday is actually the same date that the Titanic hit the iceberg. And so once I found that out, I started getting more interested into that. And once I got my scuba certification when I was in high school, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do with my life and be underwater and document shipwrecks.
And is that the only thing? Because I'm assuming you probably do lots of other things as well. Because with having that ability, that skill set, you'll be asked to do all sorts of associated things that aren't necessarily treasure diving.
Yeah, and I'm learning about coral reef conservation too, and that really goes hand in hand because a lot of the shipwrecks, they have growth on them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times at IU we document the growth alongside the shipwreck to kind of monitor how that is. Yeah,
and are you interested in kind of the artificial coral reef projects that are trying to revive the coral reefs? Because I know Australia's having a terrible time with their reefs.
Yeah, those are definitely problems. I'm learning about that. And there's a coral reef class at IU that goes into that. But yeah, I'm also very interested in artificial reef construction. And we're going to be diving on a couple shipwrecks this coming May in Florida that were used for reefs.
How cool is that? That is amazing. It's very hard to ask a question like, what exciting thing would you like to do when COVID finishes? Because you're doing exciting stuff already every single week. Cool. But what do you kind of hope for in terms of you're going to finish this college? Hopefully, you'll get a wonderful job in some sort of outfit that deals with oceanographic outfit. you interested in the more sciencey based stuff or the more freelancey stuff? Because I know there's a lot of kind of freelance stuff which is in the kind of to make money, basically. Or are you interested in the kind of oceanographic study stuff? The which area?
I am more interested in doing like research with a university or with a, an oceanographic organization, like you said. So I'm definitely more interested in that, but I'm also hoping to pursue more, more scuba certifications so that if I did want to become an instructor, I could do that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to start like kind of my professional stuff next year.
That's great. Really, Sarah. I mean, because I know that Greenpeace maintain a fleet and they do precisely the kind of work you're doing, but mainly to make sure that we don't screw up anymore. But in terms of the treasure stuff, that generally is in the private sector, because they actually they're people. I've seen those TV shows where people actually go out and look for treasure. It's like, wow.
Oh yeah. A lot of times though, it's almost more expensive looking for the treasure than it is finding it, because it's so much work.
Yeah, sure. I mean, boats. Really? Do you like boats?
I do like boats. Yeah,
Okay.
we've done a little bit. I kind of putted around in an inflatable boat yesterday on our little quarry that we do diving in. So that was really fun.
That's really cool.
And such.
So is it quite a large group of you, or is it like 2 or 3?
There's a few people. I said there's 3 others that are actually doing underwater archaeology.
Yeah.
And several people that are doing marine conservation, which is also sort of a do your own thing. But it is, you can make it into a major.
Wow. So you've got quite a good group of you doing the scuba sessions every week, or however many times you do it.
Yeah, we've taken there's a good group of us who have been kind of going through the scuba classes together. So we did advanced scuba, underwater archaeology techniques, rescue, and then we're doing a professional diver class where we're kind of learning about the recreational dive industry, learning how to take pictures, learning how to fill scuba tanks, so more of the career oriented side of that.
The business end of it. I mean, in terms of like the scientific stuff of actually what mixes you need, what temperatures and what depths you're going to go to, and all that stuff must be incredibly important, because obviously you start taking the wrong stuff, you're in real trouble. So tell me, underwater archaeology. All right, I'm trying to picture this now. I'm there.
Right.
I'm down at the bottom of the ocean. I'm comfortable. I've got the right mix. I've got at least 25 minutes to get to do something. Time is a real problem, because you're in and out. You can't stay down there, like hang out, have a cup of tea. You pick something, gets loose. It goes in the tide. If it's not tied down, it maybe floats. How do you conserve the scene? How do you make sure the scene is safe?
So a lot of what we do isn't necessarily digging. We're hoping to get into that soon, but a lot of what we're doing is more of site maintenance. So I'm not exactly 100% sure about the technical aspect of that.
Yeah.
But I know that you can lay out grids and just be very careful about what you do. And there is also the dredging aspect, which we're planning on doing sometime soon, but COVID kind of ruined that. And so with that, you definitely have to be very careful.
Yeah.
But a lot of what we do is more like just site documentation. So we do something that's called photogrammetry, where you take overlapping pictures of a site and you can make a 3D model, which is really good for showing change over time, especially with marine growth too.
That's really important. Yeah. The BBC does that very often. They show pictures before and after, like even just 10 years ago, look at this reef and look at it now. And over a vast area, not just 25 yards, not someone's backyard. That's huge. I love this. I love this sense of responsibility. Well, it's over to you. We screwed it up, so we're just going to have to beg your forgiveness and say, do a better job, please.
Yep, we hope so.
Thank you, Sarah. It's lovely talking to you. Thank you for coming and talking to us about all this.
Yeah, thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Sarah, that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard.
Absolutely. One of the most original career trajectories in the world.
Oh, thank you both.
Okay, we are going to go over to Kaz next.
There you are.
There I am.
Is Kaz short for Karen?
Caroline.
Brits love to go as,
Yeah, I think it's a northern thing as well. So
yeah, like my friend Baisley, Paul Baisley. We call him Bazza. Baz.
Yeah.
There you go, mate. No, brilliant. How are you? Where are you? You're up north.
Yes, I am in beautiful Lancashire.
Oh yeah, that is beautiful.
Which is
Manchester or outside?
Just outside Preston, so
oh yeah,
sort of a bit north of Manchester, not too far from the Lake District.
Yeah,
very nice part of the world.
It's the next stop on the train. I know that often
it is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It is. Although I've basically lived in London pretty much all of my adult life.
Right.
So I'm kind of a Londoner by adoption. But 2 days before lockdown was announced last March, I escaped.
Good.
And came to stay with my parents.
Fantastic.
And have regressed back to being a teenager.
Yeah, they need it, and you probably need it. Although you're probably driving each other up the wall every now and then.
Actually, it's been really nice.
That's great.
Yeah, because I mean, I left home at 18 to go off to university, and then immediately after I'd done my degrees, I went off to London, and so I've never really lived with them for any length of time as an adult. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in my early 30s now.
Yeah.
But it's been really nice.
And you said that you've regressed, have you? Or do you treat each other differently, like friends almost, now that you're...
We are. I think it's that sort of adult to adult thing.
Yeah.
In that, I think the only time before this that I've spent any length of time at home as an adult was when I was quite unwell.
Yeah.
But this time is kind of more, I'm just here because I have to work from home, and I'd much rather stay with my parents than in a house share where they were driving me crazy. So
absolutely. What industry are you in? What's your thing?
I actually work in education at the moment. Who was it who was on earlier who was talking about teacher assessed grades? I'm on the other side of that because I work for an exam board.
Oh yes, okay.
The kind of assessments that I mostly work on, things like apprenticeships.
Yeah. And
people in that line of work kind of do their exams when they're ready.
Yeah. So
they haven't been cancelled in the way that GCSEs, A levels, BTECs have been. So
yeah, they're not fine deadlines. They're not deadline material.
I work with a lot of healthcare qualifications, so obviously there's still quite a big demand for them at the moment.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. So our little team within this much bigger machine has kind of continued business as usual, except we're all working from home.
Right.
So to be honest though, I've hated working from home.
Right.
I like a separation between home and work. Yeah, even when I was an undergrad, I wrote all my essays in the library because home was for chilling and whatnot.
I totally understood.
So
absolutely.
I've turned my brother's old bedroom into a home office, so at least I'm not sleeping and working in the same space.
God, can you imagine?
Oh God, and I miss being around people.
Yeah.
Because my other work thing is I'm a tour guide.
Wow.
In fact, I managed to qualify last year in the middle of a pandemic, which was ridiculous. But it was something I'd been doing unofficially before that.
Fantastic. What do you guide? What's your thing?
So I'm officially, I've got my badge here to remind myself that I can achieve things. I am a Clerkenwell and Islington guide. So I did that course last year. Because I've kind of been I write quite a bit about graveyards and stuff, and ruins and old churches and things. And through doing that, people started asking me, "Oh, could you do a tour of something?"
Yeah.
So I ended up doing this tour for Southwark Cathedral, and I kind of got an old map from the 1740s. John Roke did this incredible map of London.
Yeah.
Which is really, really clear. And there's a wonderful website that superimposes it onto Google Maps. It says digital humanities at its finest.
Fantastic.
And so I plotted all these areas sort of around London Bridge, Borough Market, Borough High Street that used to be burial grounds.
Teeming, and also the teeming centre of, London. That's one of the oldest parts of town.
Because I was doing a PhD in history. I thought, well, I've got all these research skills. I love history. I love sharing history with people. And I've kind of, as I've got older, I've learned that I actually like interacting with people on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I thought, let's do this.
How
Bite the bullet,
fantastic.
do the guiding course.
That's
And I
brilliant,
loved
Kat.
it.
It's all
Yeah.
very Edgar Allan Poe, isn't it? Graveyard tours.
Oh, they're such interesting places though, Sid. Seriously. I mean,
Yeah,
you kind of, the history of the whole city's in these places.
yeah.
You know, you can learn so much about what people believed. They're
Well,
amazing places.
and so much of certainly London history happened in that precise area. I mean, up until the more modern stuff is moved away, but that the Great Fire and the Plague and all of those things were kicking off around there, and all the royal business only a few feet away, down at the tower.
Me, if there's an archaeologist in the room, I'm making a beeline for them. I don't know why I didn't become an archaeologist, but
well, that's still on the cards. I mean, there's never too late to do anything, and you're certainly young enough.
I've spent all this time working from home in front of a computer, and I'm miserable. So I'm going back to university in September to study radiography.
Wow.
I'll be x-raying living people.
You
now.
will be x-raying stuff. You're just doing everything.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
it's exhausting.
I mean, yes. Well, maybe you've got so much time on your hands. You're just dreaming up you're inventing new identities for yourself every couple of days.
I think I've been lucky. COVID has given me a bit of time and space to think. And
well, I think it's something you can certainly enjoy without having to do. It's not
and
especially
especially
essential.
Living somewhere like London, there's so much to see all the time, and whenever they build a new building in the city, they find stuff. It's great.
Absolutely. There's a movie I just saw with Ralph Fiennes and Carey Mulligan.
Oh, The Dig.
The Dig.
Yeah, I watched that with my mum and dad the other week.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a sweet film. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, a few years ago, my mum and dad were on holiday in Suffolk, and I decided to tag along for the weekend because I had nothing better to do. And we drove past a road sign saying Sutton Hoo, and I just screamed. And also, whenever we passed any ruins or anything, I was like, stop the car, I need to get out.
Oh, are you fascinated by all that too? It's like all the tumuli and all that, the ancient burial grounds. That is fascinating. That's really...
There's a place not too far from where I'm staying at the moment that's like an ancient, I think it's like a wood henge. So it wasn't stone posts, it was wooden posts. It's about 3,500 years old. And I finally managed to get up there last summer. And that was really cool.
Well, we would love to get a tour.
Oh my God, yeah, hit me up if you're in London, definitely.
It would be so much fun.
That goes to anybody.
But I'm just curious what interests you the most on your own tour.
There's this person who sort of started these vigils every month to remember the sort of nameless dead and the poor who were buried without headstones and things like that. And it's become a really beautiful thing. And a few years ago,
that is a beautiful thing.
They managed to get a lease on the people who sort of friends of this place managed to get a lease from Transport for London to turn it into a garden.
Right.
And it is a garden now. You can go in. It's not open every day, but
you can sit there and contemplate.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
What a lovely idea. Yeah.
So that's somewhere if you're sort of in the London Bridge area.
Yeah.
That's a really cool place.
That is gorgeous. It's
quite poignant.
Idea. Really, absolutely.
Yeah.
And are there many of that? Is that much of that history also in Preston?
And we have Preston Guild every 20 years.
Right. What is that?
They used to have it in every town in England. The sort of merchants' guilds and different trades groups and stuff that used to be almost like unions / cartels that looked after the interests of their members. And obviously they don't have any real power anymore, but in Preston they kept doing the celebrations every 20 years. So you have all these parades, and local businesses and local people will take part in them and have like a whole week of stuff. The guild is great. The last one we had was in 2012, and it sort of culminated with this torchlit procession through the city, and there were about
how cool. So there's one in another
quarter of a million people. So the next one is 2032.
Oh, 2032. Okay, yeah, my math's a bit off, like by a decade.
Yeah, a
There
little
he is.
while to wait. Yeah.
He's waiting for the guild show, just waiting. It's happening any minute now. It's happening any minute now. Ooh, it's a bit cold.
It does rain a lot up here, but we're used to it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've spent my summers watching cricket at Old Trafford. I can cope with rain.
Oh, you like cricket?
I love cricket.
Me too. I love cricket. I'm a big cricket fan. It's almost impossible to explain it to anybody. Not in a way that makes sense. It just makes it sound boring.
It's part of life.
It's part of life. Oh, you lucky thing going to Old Trafford.
Yeah, I was a member when me and my dad used to go, and
wow.
we still go as a family. It's a thing.
Unfortunately, in the States you can't watch cricket for love nor money. There's absolutely no way. There's one channel called something cricket, I think.
I managed to find a feed for Test Match Special when I was in Michigan years and years ago.
You can get it on the radio.
Yeah.
You can get a commentary, which I actually really like. I find it quite
I love
soothing.
TMS. Yeah.
Yeah, just putting it on in the background and listening to them natter away. I miss that, listening to cricket, and I miss it's such a civilized day out because you can take sandwiches and a paper,
yeah,
and you can chat, and you will miss things, but it's all right. And
it goes on all day.
It goes on all day. It's fantastic. I used to do it as a kid. I used to love it. I used to go and see Viv Richards, and I saw Tony Gregg, the first one, an old English cricket captain. It was in 1976 or something. I've got pictures of Lord's cricket ground underwater because the place flooded. And we'd go to the Oval. My stepfather was a member of the MCC.
Oh wow!
Which you can't do unless you wait on a waiting list for 20 years. Well, listen, it's been lovely talking to you guys. I might try and get to talk to one more person in case my COVID test.
Of course, yeah. Good luck with the COVID test.
Good luck. Otherwise, all this, I'm going away is going to be not happening. So, thank you, Kaz.
Take care.
Lovely to meet you.
And you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kaz. All right. Next up, we've got Melly.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Bit tired. Meanwhile, it's almost 11 p.m. here, but it's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Whereabouts in the world are you? In Europe?
In Germany, Frankfurt.
Oh, fantastic. How's it going in Frankfurt?
It's getting better. We are getting faster now with vaccinations, but we are still far away from normalization. So I'm working from home.
And how has that been? Has it been difficult?
At first, yes, because I also prefer to work in the office because I like to be around my colleagues, and it's a very, very good team. I absolutely like to work with them and see them. That was difficult to work at home at first. But in the meantime, I would say it's not so bad. The company I work for is not that bad when it comes to digitalization. We use Microsoft Teams and not Zoom, but it's pretty much the same what we are doing here right now.
How is Microsoft Teams? Because I've heard all sorts of different things, but is it good or is it?
It's not bad.
Okay, not bad is okay.
You can do presentations very well. You can also do live performances very well. So it's good.
So I was reading that there's been a lot of trouble getting enough vaccines in Europe, and something to do with AstraZeneca forgetting or something and being late on payments. How are you guys hearing that news?
There was a lot of media echo about that.
Yeah. Which
I don't think was a good thing. I think there were mistakes made on all sides, but I see it as this pandemic has hit us all by surprise. It's new for everyone. We are all learning. So I don't like it to point fingers and say, you lied about your contract, you lied about your delivery amounts. All these companies who make the vaccines right now, they all need the same ingredients to make them. So it's normal that you get a shortage.
Yeah, of course.
And As for AstraZeneca, I feel very bad for them because they are not doing that for a profit.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
So all this media echo was, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And now it's here in Germany, AstraZeneca now has a stigma, so that the people who should get this vaccine, many of them don't want it anymore, and so they open it up for everyone.
Yeah.
So that at least it gets used up. But there are already rumors, I don't know if it's true, but there are already rumors that the EU will not use the option for AstraZeneca.
Weird. What a weird thing to do.
As if we have enough. So
yes,
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So much leftover vaccine. You don't know what to do with it. You couldn't get rid of one of the most important manufacturers.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
My dad got vaccinated with AstraZeneca last week, and he had no problems at all.
Yeah, good. So you obviously doing your work now from home. What sort of work is it, if you don't mind me asking?
I would describe myself as system administrator.
Oh, okay. So in technical.
Yeah, it's meanwhile technical, but that's not what I learned. I somehow slipped into that, and that's also why at the moment I study next to work to become a Java developer.
Wow. And what sort of things are you interested in? What sort of things are you interested in developing?
Well, the thing why I chose this is all our systems are Java based, and I don't know, was it earlier who said that IT professionals are hard to come by?
Yeah.
Our company has the same problem. It's a big company, and we have made it a goal to digitalize our products, but we don't have enough IT people. So they encourage us business people to study IT topics. So we will never be full IT people like those who studied it, but one of us is focusing on Oracle, the other on Python, and I focus on Java. So we bring this knowledge into the company.
What is Java? I mean, sorry to be...
Java is, you can describe it as the Internet of Things. So if you pick up your phone or if you make your coffee, the program in your in this machine is Java. It tells your machine cook 1 cup of coffee instead of 2, and it also can go on a bigger scale if you use Java for systems like, I don't know, your banking software or whatever.
That makes sense.
I don't know what Zoom is made. Maybe it's also Java based. I don't know.
I heard it was it's a more internet-friendly coding system.
Yeah.
It's more of the basic internet code.
The idea behind Java is that it can run on any machine. So it doesn't matter if you have Microsoft or if you have Linux or whatever. It works on every machine.
I love the idea of the Internet of Things, but I draw the line at a fridge that is online. I'm just drawing the line there. Call me old-fashioned, call me weird, but my fridge with a screen on it telling me that I'm out of milk, it's relieving me of a responsibility I'm okay with. I'm okay knowing how much milk I have and whether or not I need to buy some more. It just doesn't bother me. I don't feel overstretched every day.
Yeah, and do you know these Amazon buttons? I don't know if they still sell them, but you could for a while order tiny buttons, which with just one product programmed into it that you always order, and you can put this button on your fridge or whatever, and whenever you need milk, for example, you press that button and
press the button.
Amazon will get your order right away.
Yeah.
That's one of those.
I would never get any exercise if I didn't have to shop. I would just never do anything. Just like sitting there, just pushing the button for more milk, please. I don't know if they still do that, but I wonder what they do if there are little children
in the house and they keep pressing
They
the
keep
button.
pushing the button. A lot of milk arrives.
Yeah. So maybe they don't do that anymore for that
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
What do you think, where is the Internet of Things? I mean, I understand that's just a frivolous, that's just something that people are just having fun with, the fridges and stuff. But where do you think the Internet, because I know the Internet of Things is actually going to be extremely important as life goes on. And that's been, it's been predicted by Bill Gates. It was predicted as well by many other people. Where is the application going to really matter? Where are we trying to get to? Yeah, what do we need from it? I mean, I know that it's going to be great for logistics, for companies to know when they're running out of things and to order stuff, and for the Amazon world, for want of a better way of putting it. But why does it need to be in our house? I'm not averse to it, by the way. I'm sure I'll have it if they can sort out the security problems. But they seem to be kind of very vulnerable right now.
I think it's mostly driven by the big Silicon Valley companies.
Right.
And it's not so much to make your life easier, but to get information about you.
That's kind of worrying, isn't it?
To find out what your habits are, what your interests are. You want to buy a gift for a friend who just got a baby, and you look up baby gifts. And suddenly you get all these suggestions to buy baby stuff. That's all collected from.
It happens to me online. I mean, it was not very long ago. I just looked up the price of. I'd never heard of caviar with a K, but it wasn't beluga. No, Kaluga caviar. I'd never heard of that, but I found it somewhere. I was on a restaurant menu, and I was like, I didn't know there was Kaluga caviar, and I looked it up on my phone. And my phone obviously talks to my computer, and my main computer where I do all my mail and stuff. And I'm getting all these commercials for Kaluga caviar, which I'm not going to buy. $500.
You have an Android phone?
I have an Apple, and they all talk to each other.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the company behind it that deals with this information.
So that's basically what the Internet of Things is. It's the internet
for the companies, yes.
Yeah, the internet of collecting things for those guys. All right. Well, thank you for the warning, because I'm going to be a lot more reticent about buying a fridge that tells me when I'm out of milk, and has a picture on a television screen on the door. Who's going to sit and watch the TV on their fridge?
Yeah, it's all trying. They try to bait you to use these things. So it's also, I always give the advice not to share too much private information on the internet, like typing your address or name anywhere.
Yeah.
I use mostly aliases.
Right.
Because I don't want my real name too much spread out in the internet.
Smart. Really smart.
I still get too much spam mail, but
yeah,
I think if I put my real name anywhere, I think it would be much worse.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have to put my real name for a lot of stuff, but I notice when I do it, I have a special email account for buying things, ordering stuff, filling out questions, all that sort of stuff, telephone bills, and all of that goes. And that is just full of spam. But the ones that I have, my friends, they're empty, because I never use the email as a point of reference. That's really interesting. What are you going to, in terms of, hopefully COVID is over soon, and you will be fully versed in Java and an expert. What do you see as your near future goal? What's the thing you'd like to see, to do, to be part of?
I am part of an organization within our organization, which works on the digitalization. And my part will be to renew some of the older software, which is on old platforms, which will be decommissioned, we have to recreate those tools into state-of-the-art programs. That's where I
Wow.
will.
That's really ambitious. I mean, that's a lot of work.
It is, yes.
You know, companies pay millions and millions of dollars for that sort of work.
That's the reason why our company tries to recruit people from within. We have a lot of external experts, but they get paid a fortune.
Yeah.
I sometimes wonder why I'm not working there.
Yes.
And then working for this. But okay, the decision is made, so I'm not looking back.
Well, Mieli, it's been just really lovely talking to you. Thank you very much for coming on and saying hi.
Thank you very much for doing this, and also Mel and Colin, you're doing an awesome thing here.
Thanks, Melly. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up so Sid can go get a nose job.
Gotta go get a nose job.
That's your arm.
I know, I just realized it's not a vaccination, it's a different thing. But there you go.
Yeah. So with that, we will say have a lovely weekend. Bon voyage to Sid.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll see you all on the other side.
Okay.
I won't forget my hairbrush, Rob.